Good evening, everyone. Obviously, at this moment, there's no safer place to be in West Hampton than this courtroom. So, guys, it's now 7 o'clock. I can't read with that echo. All right, it's now 7 o'clock. Requirements of the Sunshine Law have been met. This was advertised in the Burlington County Times on January the 7th, 2024. Electronic notice was given to the NJAC 5:39-1.5. It'd be my pleasure to ask our assuming new captain to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nancy, you want to stay down there or you want to come up here? We will now have a moment of silence. Roll call.
Committeewoman Berkeley?
Present.
Committeeman Carr?
Present.
Committeeman Mungo?
Present.
Committeewoman Wright? Mayor Henley?
Present.
Also present, Township Solicitor, Township Administrator Clerk, Deputy Township Administrator, Police Chief, Fire EMS Chief.
Resolution 129-24, resolution appointing police captain. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second. Berkeley.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Berkeley?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
Mayor Henley?
Yes.
Mungo?
Yes.
Wright? Motion carries 4-0.
We will now have a presentation.
Sure, whatever you want.
I, Ryan Herrick,
I, Ryan Perry,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform all duties of police captain
and justly perform all duties of police captain
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Council.
Standing, go.
Congratulations.
I'm so thrilled.
Motion for a short recess so we can celebrate.
Make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Reopen?
Aye.
Perfect. Approval of minutes, September 17, 2024, regular meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
Berkeley move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Berkeley,
Yes.
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Abstain.
Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Motion carries 301.
September 17, 2024, executive session minutes. Do we have a motion?
Berkeley move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Berkeley,
Yes.
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Abstain.
Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Motion carries 301.
Open meeting to public comment on agenda items only. Please remember to state your name and address for the record. Reminder, this is for comment only. With no public comment, all in favor to close?
Aye.
Resolutions, 130-24, payment of vouchers. This resolution approves the payment of bills through 10/1/2024. Do we have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Berkeley,
Yes.
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Yes.
Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Consent agenda resolution. Resolution note. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted with a single motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by the certification of availability of funds. Any items requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda.
Mayor,
Yes.
To move D, please.
Hold on. What would you say, Odie?
I make a motion for A through C.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Berkeley,
Yes.
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Yes.
Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
I'd like to make a motion to table D 132-24. No. What did we remove? We removed D, right?
D. Yes.
D.
I have questions on D.
I make a motion to table, or I second your motion.
No. That's not what we wanted. Never mind. That's fine.
Yeah, 133.
Go ahead. Motion for 132-24, resolution endorsing TWA permit.
What? We already
No.
did C.
What's my on?
C.
A through D, and we only did A through C.
Yes.
So we have D and E available, right?
Just D, there's no E. He does have an E on
I
it.
have E. All right.
Yeah, his E is our D.
Yes,
Terminate participation is D.
Yeah,
I have it as E.
he has it as E.
I know my alphabet. So I want to make a motion to table y'all's D, my E,
Just D, just say D, because everybody
and
has
I got E.
public.
So I'd like to make a motion to table that.
I second.
So,
Read it.
just for clarification, so the resolution to terminate participation under the State Health Benefits Plan and SEHBP, that's, you're moving to table.
Do I have a motion to do that? Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, discussion?
I'd like some more information, Mayor.
So also what we could do is, I think it'd be fair to bring in, Hartenberg to explain what exactly we're moving into, because there's some different figures about how much we're saving, et cetera, and let them kind of talk to the committee and say exactly what it is and what we're doing.
One of my questions is, if we had passed this tonight, it said once we send it to the state health, we'd have 60 days and it would be then disconnected. What if we weren't ready to approve a new thing in 60 days, or we couldn't get people signed up in 60 days? Does that mean we would have
People with no
a
coverage.
term of not being covered by any medical insurance?
So Hardenberg actually came here and spoke to all of the employees regarding the plan changeover. They were given all of the information about what would happen. What Hardenberg would do is they would take the whole list of all of our employees and whatever current plans they are on and just put them on the private broker under the same plan, but under a different carrier, because they don't offer us the Horizon plans, they just offer us the Aetna plans. So there would not be a lapse in any kind of coverage. Hardenberg would handle everything for us. If we do not complete this step, we may not be able to join in January, because we have to give the state at least 60 days notice that we plan to terminate this coverage. So yesterday was actually our day that we had to notify them, but because we had a meeting tonight and we had the resolution on the agenda, they allowed us to roll through this agenda and then submit the resolution to them tomorrow. If we don't, we automatically enroll in the state.
60 days,
It's November.
yeah, that brings us to, if we were to do it
So
tomorrow.
we
it
would
brings us to
we would
what?
start the switch over December 1st,
And not January?
not January 1st.
But wouldn't we have to have, I mean, if we're voting to cut ourselves off from state health benefits,
You're voting,
let me finish, please. Don't we have to approve what plan we're moving to?
you're voting tonight for the intent to switch over. You're not voting for the actual switch over yet. And as I had explained on the phone and on the email, we are moving through the process with Hardenberg. So I don't know what that next resolution looks like just yet.
This resolution looks like we are saying, once we go to the state, we are cutting off this insurance in 60 days.
It's the intent to cancel the insurance within 60 days.
Right. But my question is, I would think we have to approve whatever we're going to.
We might. I don't know that answer yet.
You don't think so?
Can I ask you? So, Wendy, if the council were to vote on this resolution and pass the resolution, Hardenberg comes next week and they decide not to switch for whatever presentation, can they rescind this and we can, and the township,
I can live with that.
that 60-day period, the township can stay within the state health benefits?
I just want to hear what they have to say, because I heard that, at some point I heard we were saving 200,000, then I heard we were saving 20,000, so I want to know what the savings is, and the best way to do it, especially for the people who have to vote on it, is for Hartenberg, who has no issue coming up here. I had a conversation with them tonight to come up here and make a presentation, which I think is fair, before we make a change like that. So, is it 133-24 and everybody else? 133-24, resolution to terminate participation under SH.
Sandy, you already voted on this. You
So
already
the-
voted to table it.
Oh, we're voting to table, okay. So now we go to table it, that means we
I
won't,
thought they just had a motion and a second and we were discussing it.
Right.
Do we roll? call
I don't-
the table?
It was voted to table it? Okay.
we didn't roll call it, but
You said all in favor.
I would still like to know what we're going to. I mean, if you gave all the employees the information, we haven't gotten it. I have no idea what the plan is that we're going to. I don't know if it's a good plan or a bad plan.
I supplied you with the entire package that I gave to all the employees.
Excuse me?
I supplied you with the entire package that I gave to all of the employees.
When did you do that?
When you asked me for it, I emailed it to you probably last week sometime.
Didn't get it in my Dropbox.
It's not in the Dropbox, it was in your email.
I don't recall getting it, but I will go back and look.
so we're moving on to open meeting for public comment?
Do we have to vote to table it?
It was already voted.
We already voted on it.
Okay.
Open meeting for public comment, please remember to state your name and address for the record. Reminder, this is for comment only, it is not intended as question and answer. Yes, ma'am?
Is this for something new or was on the agenda?
Yeah, whatever you want.
I'm Desiree Cancella and I live at 45 Dover Road. I guess I have a question about the homeless shelter. Did the DCA award the grant for the homeless shelter? Do we know? And if they did, what is West Hampton's plan moving forward?
Any other comments? So ma'am, we can answer your comment, like in our comments. So just giving you a heads up that we're not ignoring you. With no other comments, closed for public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Dates to remember. Dates to remember, our next committee meeting is October 15th at 7 p.m. Land Development Board meeting is October 2nd at 7 p.m. Historic Commission, October 23rd at 7 p.m. Recreation Committee meeting, October 9th at 7 p.m. Fire Prevention, Open House, October 10th at 6 to 9 p.m. Do you have any committee liaison reports or comments?
Just congratulations to Captain Berry, well deserved. Congratulations, Chief Ferguson, on your two appointments. The Backyard Chicken Advisory Committee, looks like we have a tentative date for October 18 at 6 p.m. The majority of your appointments are able to make it. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
I also wanted to congratulate Captain Berry and the other appointments tonight as well. And I was happy to see, Odie was able to secure a time for the chicken committee to meet. So I will help participate in that as well. And that's all I have.
I agree. I'm thrilled. Captain Berry is a wonderful policeman. He's been worked here for a long time, and I've known him pretty well. He really does have West Hampton's heart first. I did have a question about the shelter. We were told by the commissioners that they would have a meeting with West Hampton before this got off the ground, and it seems like the architect has already done everything. Maybe, Mayor, you could talk to them and get them to have a meeting with the people, because they did promise to come here and have a meeting with us and answer our questions and talk to us about that. So that was my comment.
So, what I would say about the shelter that I know, I've done a little bit of research. It's actually it's not a homeless shelter. What is it referenced as? An emergency shelter? So I did do some digging about what it has to do. One, it's a county thing. It's not a West Hampton thing. It's built on county land, not West Hampton land. But we've had if anybody goes to Wawa in the morning, you have a homeless problem in town right now. West Hampton is ranked, I think, the 4th in Burlington County. They're looking at the zip code though, so it could pertain to some of the things in a homeless issue. So when I was up there, fair enough, when I was up at Wawa, I just went up there. You got a guy that lives under the drive-through part of the dollar store. You got a gentleman that lives in the bus station.
You have people at the, down at the library, at the pavilion, too.
You have people who live at the library who have the parts of the pavilion cut off as their homes. You have families that are living back in the woods, all in West Hampton. And so when asked about the homeless shelter, what I kind of researched is that this is a place that people can stay for 90 days. I asked about some of the people who live there, the people who are living outside, what are we going to do to be helpful toward them? How does it help them? Or if you have a homeless shelter, are these people going to continue to stay outside? There's people who believe that that's not going to happen, that those people have an option to bring them in, to give them some options of what they can do to get them back on the right trail. I've seen some comments, where people say maybe the homeless shelter should go in Willingboro, and I don't know why people would say that, but Willingboro's not on the list they don't have a homeless problem. And anybody who's been, listen, my daughter's 20 years old. I wouldn't send her to that Wawa with those people there, and I don't think a lot of people feel safe sending their kids or having their kids ride their bikes up around that Wawa. So I've actually had a chance to see where they said they call our police officers out. So, Committeewoman Berkeley has stated that we're going to use our police officers. If I'm not mistaken, sir, do we use our police officers right now? Our police officers were up there 3 times in one day on Sunday. when I went up there to see the Wawa, to go see the Wawa, because I've been clear from the beginning that if it's something that's a problem, I'm going to go see it, feel it, touch it, so I know exactly what's going on. What I would ask is some of the comments that are being made, I don't know if the people are going up there to see it or feel it or touch it. They're making comments from an ivory tower, right? That's not fair to the people who are homeless. I've been there. I talked to the manager. I have the phone number of the district manager. The manager said that she had the cops come up there yesterday. Well, no, that was 2 days ago. Was it yesterday I talked to you, Chief? Yesterday, the cops came up there, escorted a gentleman out who gave them an issue as he's leaving. This is what our police officers are doing. Our police officers have stated that sometimes when you go to help someone, it takes 8 hours. It takes a whole shift. Someone else is complaining that the homeless are now going into the neighborhood, knocking on the doors of the residents. So, I mean, I don't know that the emergency shelter fixes that problem, but I know that there is a problem. And it has to be addressed. And it can't be addressed by one person or two people. It has to be addressed by our community. Whether, you know, a lot of it is a mental health issue. Now, whether mental health is affecting your family or not, I don't know if it lands in your front yard, if it's really a problem that you want to address, but it's a problem of us all at the moment. Right? So, I can ask about representation. I'm sure they're fine coming up here having a discussion about the emergency shelter. But it's not a homeless shelter. It's an emergency shelter. It's to help get people back on their feet. People can stay there. I think it holds up to 60 beds, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you care to give any more input on it, if anybody cares about helping people, but I can tell you some of these things have affected my family. So I do have passion around that, and passion around helping people who can't help themselves. And the fact of the matter is we don't own the land. So we can fight it, but we're fighting that we're not going to help the problem that we currently have. What I would do is anyone who has an issue, I would go to the Wawa in the morning time and check it out. I mean, it's easy to go to the new Wawas, right? I got one down the street from me, or the one across the street from you. But go to the one over there on the corner and see how that is. And think about the people coming out of that. When I was there, I'm sorry, I keep squirreling back and forth, but when I was there, the same gentleman they took out walked back in again to use the bathroom and then leave. And you have a full of people who aren't that great. There's a hair product place next door. I go next door, then he's in there. He's not buying anything, he's just not well, right? So one of the things I talked to the Wawa representative about was if they had anything about no solicitation. They said they did, but someone took it down, so they're putting that back up. I also took a picture of the phone number of the people who own the strip mall there to reach out and give them a call. I heard they've been very receptive. I mean, about putting some non-loitering stuff there. And if I'm not mistaken, Chief, if you want to express what happened later on that afternoon when he went back up there, because the second person that I called when I was up there was Chief Farnsworth, Chief Ferguson. We got to change your last name.
If I could just address the people in the room.
I would love that.
Ongoing issue we've battled for years, housing, of our mental health. Our homeless people do have mental health issues, like the mayor said. I've talked to him several times over the last week or so about the issues we have up there. I reached out to the owner of the Founding Dollar because they're kind of encouraging people to stay there. I know that's their business and that's their right, but they are in our township, and then that could be an issue. But I'm inviting people to sleep on the property at any time or even in the daytime hours. So working with them, we've always had a good relationship with Human Services. See what it fluctuates, look at a few homeless people, look at assistance. They move out of town, then we get a new group of people coming into town. Like I told the mayor before, sometimes we see our numbers are kind of high. We do have a big homeless population, but fortunately a lot of homeless people use Human Services building for their mail and stuff. So sometimes, I don't want to say that these things are skewed, but if I were to look at all their home addresses are probably 795 Building Road, West Hampton. So I'm not saying we don't have all those problems, because we do. It's sprouts up right now within the same 2 or 3 individuals. And then we try to offer them help, and either we have no communication at all, they'll walk away. We do have a running list that we keep in the station of all those population. So now, it's a problem here and there. If there is something going on, then we need to be advised. You need to pick up the phone, dial 911, or somebody else can do their job as well. Yeah, right now, in our county, I believe we have a shelter maybe out there in Evansville. There used to be one that operated solo, came out of college, but I don't think that's functional anymore, so that's all we have as far as resources.
And I did try to ask, and thank you, Chief. I did try to ask, because listen, I'm a part of the community as well, right? Does this help or does this hurt, right? Like, so after 90 days, do we have more homeless people that are around that we can't, that we've helped, but they didn't receive the help, et cetera, et cetera. And there are people who don't believe that that will be an issue. They believe that this is the help that people are looking for, or trying to get. Yes, ma'am.
Can I say something?
Of course, yes.
I work with Trenton, and they're going to all shelters show the same much. They allow people to sleep at night, and they make them leave into the community during the day. That is how all shelters work. You're going to have each municipality bringing their homeless into West Hampton. It's not a few, every city has its homeless, and I understand it. And I live right near the law, and I am up there. I do not go there after dark.
I understand why.
Yeah, I get it. It's something I choose to do. I also work in Trenton and Camden. I am very aware of the drugs, the begging, the harassment. I'm aware of that. I choose West Hampton to be my home for peace. I am one of those people that, yes, the homeless come by, sometimes they sit on the lawn, sometimes there's an issue. I did call the police one time for a homeless man that had a mental health issue. He was literally telephone. I understand that there's mental health issues. My thing is, every town in Birmingham is going to then send their homeless to that shelter, and then the shelter, because it's from the morning, they make them get up, they make them either go to the buildings for, I guess it's going to be the, employment type thing. They make them leave. That pushes them into the neighborhood. They're not allowed back in shelters till 5 o'clock. It is the same thing at every shelter. And I think that's where West Hampton is going to bear the brunt of not just their small population of homeless, but the other counties. I see them busing them into home shelters. And you can call it an emergency shelter or whatever you want to call it, but you're talking about 60 beds. That is a lot more homeless than what we have. I'm aware of the person behind the car wash. I'm aware of the person that sleeps in there. I come here for peace. And I'm an advocate of mental health, but the people that are going to be there are people that have drug issues, because we have the counseling center, which is an methadone clinic over in Mount Holly. I'm sure the B place that they're opening up is going to bring more people. But most of the people that have mental health issues are unmedicated. And that is not something that you're going to fix in that shelter area. You're not going to have them.
I got a question though,
Yes.
and I didn't mean to interrupt, because some of the things I don't know, because it's a conflict, right? I can't really ask those type of questions, which I would ask Ms. Berkeley to send an email to ask someone to come speak to us from the county, because I work for the county. So it's a conflict. But my question was this. I'm told when it comes to an emergency shelter, this emergency shelter that they're creating, that you can stay there for 90 days, not one night. And I heard that they're supposed to have programs during the day, and they're supposed to have different activities during the day that help these people get in the right situation. Does that sound like the same thing that you're talking about?
If you have people that have temporary displacement, that is going to work. But if you're talking about people that this is a lifelong battle with mental health and drug addiction, and you're putting them in there, I don't think it's going to turn people away for 90 days. It just...
And let me ask you this. Do you think, and I promise you I'm asking questions because you know more about this than I do. Honestly, about the shelters, right? But because of the building that's there now, right, where people go to get help, where we talked about people having an address, do the homeless not go there now?
I don't know what they do there. Do I think the person sleeping in the drive-thru is over there at the community service looking for a job? No.
Right.
Do I think people living in the bushes over by the car wash are looking for a job? No. There are people that genuinely help and genuinely need those resources. And I'm not saying that that is not something that West Hampton should be putting on. And like I said, I see what happens over there with that. The gentleman that sits above that opens bags or says something and says something derogatory, if you don't give him money, he's not looking for a job. He has a mental health issue. And that's why I choose to separate this up tonight, because it's a little, it's sketchy. And I get that. But I just think that West Hampton has to look at this as much, and you're right, there's nothing we can do, that's not our property.
I was going to ask, so my next question to you was, so where do you suppose it go? If we have, as a county, have an issue, like West Hampton has an issue, Burlington County has an issue, the county owns land in West Hampton, where else would they put it?
I don't know where this is put. I just know that my piece, I've just seen this and where it is, and quite honestly, and I'm dead serious, if I see what I see when I work, I'm not going to live here. And the people of Clarksville, the ones that are directly related to this in West Hampton, they're going to move out. If they have the resources to do that. I see what I see at work, and I don't want to come home to it when I come home to West Hampton.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Mayor, I agree with you. My personal thing is not where it is, but we need to negotiate with the county to what happens in this building because they're on our property. They're on our West Hampton. And
Well, to be
we should
fair,
negotiate and
right.
say, okay,
Right.
You know,
they
To be
need
fair,
to have counseling, they need
Right.
to have medical attention.
So what I'm trying to say is what's fair is like what we talked about yesterday. The place where the homeless are right now, we don't own. So we're even very limited in what we could do there, right? We don't own where they're at Wawa. We don't own where they're in the bushes, at the car wash. We don't own, how many families are in the woods back there, Craig, you think?
5 or 6.
That's 40 people right there. Yeah, 5 or 6 people, all right. I was 5 or 6 families. I was doing the quick math. But we don't own that land, right? We don't own all the places that they're at. We need people to contact us for assistance because they're not on our land. And believe it or not, most of them seem to know the law and the rules, that they're not on the land. And we can't do that much. But I'm sorry, Ms.
But if the county wants our services,
What services might that be?
fire, ambulance, police, like they do for every building on Rancocas Road that we do for free. If they want I think we have a right to negotiate with them about what they're doing so that our people can be protected.
So I've asked this before. How much service do you think we do over at the county building versus the sheriff's department? Because I think the sheriff's department, how many officers does the sheriff's department have, if I may ask, under the sheriff's department? How many officers do you guys have approximately?
82.
82 officers. So how much work does the 82 officers of the sheriff's department do for the county buildings than West Hampton? I'm sure West Hampton's involved because we have a quick response, but they have 82 officers.
But they don't have ambulances.
They don't have ambulances.
And
But,
we are responsible for.
Craig, how many times do you guys pick up the homeless in an ambulance?
It depends, and that's a hard answer, because I would say a couple times a week probably.
But I'm talking now that if you're going to have 60 in the building, I would think you would anticipate having more ambulances go to that shelter, wouldn't you, Chief?
Again, I don't know what services they're going to provide there that might include that.
That's
I think
my
that
point.
those-
We need to negotiate what services they're going to provide and what they expect us to provide.
We have to presume that we got to negotiate something that we don't even know what they're going to do yet.
That's why they need to come talk to us,
Send them an email.
and I will.
Because here's my point about that. My grandfather had a saying, talk is cheap. I'm I'm not gonna talk about it, I'm gonna be about it. Just like I went up to Wawa, and I went up to the building, and I looked and saw what it is. Let's not wait for somebody to do something that we can do ourselves. Ma'am, you asked a question. I'm gonna do my best to find out the information for your question, because you're a resident and you wanna know, right? As much as I can, go up to that line, I will, and I'll ask those questions to see what we can do and what we know. But this is a team up here. We appoint the mayor. The mayor isn't elected. We all have one vote. So we can't wait for people to do something that we can do ourselves. I'm sorry, ma'am, you had a question in the back?
Mayor, thank you so much for the kind of attention that's spent on this subject.
We need name and address.
Deal Maddox Canteen. I was at Wawa on Sunday morning for about an hour and 40 minutes.
Excuse me, ma'am. Just so we can pick it up on the recording, can you throw up the microphone, please?
You started a trend.
I was at Wawa for an hour and 40 minutes on Sunday, and I was thoroughly disturbed by what I saw. I was there for an hour and 40 minutes because of the people coming in and out that A, half of them pulled back out because they were afraid to go in, and this is at 7:45 in the morning, and B, trying to help ladies and families going in to get a cup of coffee because they were afraid. There was 4 homeless people out there, one gentleman who was using profanity, throwing things, and I'm saying to myself, this is a place where I pay a tremendous amount of taxes. I have children and teenagers who drive, and I will tell them to go to Burlington Wawa instead of to go to the one where I live. That is unacceptable. I thank you because I complain, but like you said, do something about it. I have called you about it, and I thank you for spending the time to go check it out, because I called you and I said, you come out here and look at this, and you did. It was unbelievable. 45 minutes helping people get coffee going in and out because half the business, the people that were coming in decided to leave. If that Wawa closes, the strip mall is practically empty anyway. If that goes away, we have nothing there. West Hampton should be a city of choice, a city where people want to go to, not a city where people say, nope, I'm afraid, I don't want to go in there. I was at Wawa twice last week at night. I pulled in. I'm very astute. I know about my surroundings. And I said, do I want to go get a frozen Coke and risk getting hit in the head, or do I want to pull back out? The poor manager came out twice on Sunday trying to shoo the people away. It was unbelievable. And I'm saying to myself, this isn't what should happen. I went to special services myself this week. I spoke to the individuals that handle homelessness. They told me they coordinate with those individuals, and you have to qualify to be able to have the housing services that are there. I said, what if you don't qualify? If you don't qualify, they said what happens is they refer them to other services. Perhaps we need to coordinate with those entities to try to figure out what to do. But what we can't do is continue to let this infiltrate our city. To see carts and blankets and all of this where we live, that's not where we should be in terms of West Hampton. But I thank you, Mayor, for going out there and standing out there, because I know I've blown your phone up saying you got to get out there. And it's something, because we're better than this. And just to turn a deaf eye to this is not good. When someone gets hurt, then something will be done. I hope it's not my kids, your kids, or anybody else in here. But when someone gets hurt, cut, stabbed, whatever, hit in the head or robbed, that's when something will happen. We can't wait till that. We know it's broken. We should all fix it. You know what? In other towns, there was a young man from Cherry Hill that I stood there with, because he stood with me. He said, in my town, this happened for a week. We complained about it. We don't have this problem anymore.
Thank you. Gary? You gotta get on the mic. We gotta start the trend.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. We did close, but I was supposed to go to the gym. The later it gets, the harder to go.
Yeah, so for the record, Gary Barbarian, 138 Winstead. So Mayor, you had suggested maybe you might have been conflicted with corresponding with the county, and you kind of,
About something like that.
yeah, and you invited someone else on the committee to...
I think that's what we have a committee for.
If I may, sorry, Wendy, but we actually have an ordinance that has a liaison function, and it's performed by the administrator. So it's in the ordinance book, it's a code. So, yeah, sorry, Wendy, 4-2A5. So you're the official liaison. So I think, you know, that makes sense to sort of follow the ordinance and make Wendy, again, pardon me, the official liaison to correspond with the county for that particular issue.
Absolutely.
All right. Kind of hard to hear back here, but you said something about one of the owners of the property was sort of trying to be sympathetic to some of the folks.
That was...
And they were sort of inviting them to stay on their property, is that right?
Power store.
I think you expressed some frustration saying, well, you know, it's their land, they can kind of do what they want,
Well,
right?
It's their property, so you could elaborate for the police to go on their property and say you can't, I think that's your battle. That's some of his battle.
Yeah, and I get that. I guess where I'm going with this is, I would look at the zoning plat and find out what the property is zoned for. Because the way I would look at this is that he can't, or she can, whoever the owner is, can't unilaterally initiate a variance to this zoning. So if that's zoned commercial, then it pretty much has to be commercial. And if it's being operated out of variance, well, you can, it's punitive if you decide to do this, but I guess you could issue a cease and desist to the business operating out of variance under the zoning plat. So that's sort of the stick approach. I guess the carrot approach you'll have to come up with, because I know we want to be sort of, you know, cooperative here. The other issue where I'm going with this is, I got to believe that the insurance carrier of the property would probably have something to say if there's going to be an issue potentially towards liability to the premises. So that could be an additional lever that we, you know, kind of try to use with uncooperative or someone who has a different mindset on this particular issue. That's just an idea for you to think about on that.
Thank you.
Heather Kelly, 69 Greenwich. I'm not even opposed to the shelter. I mean, depending on what everything the setup is, but if it's something that's going to kick people out in the morning, which I did read that on Facebook, that doesn't mean it's true.
Oh, believe me, it doesn't mean it's true. Half the things on there ain't true or inaccurate.
But I would have an issue if they kick someone out so that between 8 and 5 during the day, they're just roaming Tarnsfield.
From what I've heard, that's not the case.
Okay.
But again, what Committeewoman Berkeley said, I think it would be fair to have someone come and explain exactly what that looks like, because there is a concern
And then,
from all residents.
do we know, like, at the township, what rights do we have to say, like, yes, you can do this, or no, you can't? Or do we just have to let them do whatever?
I would believe it's the same rights as we come to your property saying, you know what, this is a good place for a screen porch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's tough because there's a need for it in the county, right? And the county has land in West Hampton, not to mention the building that services those people are right there. It's right there.
No, I think she means, like, what right do we have? If they're-
Like, can we tell the county, no, we don't want it?
That's what
Oh,
she
okay.
Or,
I
like,
thought you meant, like, when people are...
We can do anything,
Right.
but we can do anything, and you can write a letter or send an email, or have a call, and you as well, ma'am, saying that. I'm just saying logistically,
There's things with shelters as well that they look at, like accessibility, because it's supposed to be about getting them back, you know.
Right.
and the Human Services building is right there. It's right across the street from the Wawa, and they're gonna build
And I
the emergency
think
shelter in the
we're
back
one
of
of the
that.
only counties without a,
I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I think putting it in one of the empty warehouses would probably be a great solution.
I'm glad you said that. Vince, how many empty warehouses do we have?
There too.
Hold on one second, Ms. Kelly. Vincent, how many empty warehouses do we have? That's another misnomer.
All right. Maybe not West Hampton, but Burlington County.
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
But they're all owned by somebody.
Right.
They would have to then be purchased by the county and then used.
But there's none in West Hampton.
I was just,
No, I'm glad you said it, because I had it in my notes and I wanted to find a way to say that. Because you know what, every quarter or every year, or how often you go check these warehouses out? Annually, to make sure that we don't have any empty ones. So we do care.
You're welcome for playing right to helping you.
A nice Batman and Robin, I'll be Robin, I don't mind. So,
Yeah, I mean, just like so we know what we have the right to say yes or no to, before it's finalized.
You can write a letter or send an email or, any of those things, make a phone call. I'm just explaining that it's county land. The Human Services building is right there. And you just heard everywhere we go, there's homeless.
I mean,
The county there's a supremacy issue, that unlike a private holder of land, the county does not have to come to the township for permission to build or for zoning. They will, generally what will happen for a county building within the township, they'll come to the zoning for what's called a courtesy.
courtesy, okay.
And that's it. If the joint land use board says, no, we don't want that, and we don't agree with your plan, the county has the right to say, thank you for your opinion, we respectfully disagree.
Okay.
Walk away and build it.
That's what I was curious about. Okay. I mean,
I don't know the legal ramifications. I'll have to play Robin again.
and I don't think the guys at Wawa are going to go stay there anyway. I mean, that's just my opinion. I feel like,
I was going to say something. No, it's all right, because I go to that Wawa all the time. What happened, it sounds like on Sunday, was extreme. I mean, I'm sure they could both tell you they're not being called out there.
right.
Whatever it was, if it was an hour and a half, I mean, that's extreme. I've been there, I go there, I live right there. I go in the morning, I go at night, I go during the day, my kids too. Yes, there's people there. Most times not really causing too much of a problem. My husband's even bought them a sandwich, Gatorade, gone back in. We don't give money, but I've never seen it to that extent of what took place Sunday, but that sounds extreme.
I agree.
I don't fear going there myself. That's just myself, though.
A three-time Hall of Fame
I'm just
person at RV.
saying, I go there all the time.
afraid of anything.
I guess you did
It's
that.
my Wawa. It's my Wawa. It's the one I use.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. With no other comment, we now have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
I
Can we sign this bill list? Huh?
second.
Yeah. Ma'am, if you have any other questions, you can feel free. I don't mind doing whatever I